coming off, a win like that and making the transition, how's that been, the excitement going to the back to work?
Well, I think from a personal standpoint, I think I speak for all of our staff, we've done a good job of mixing it together. I mean, the weekend was incredible from what happened Friday night to enjoying it in your downtime Saturday. Then we got back to work Sunday evening. But it's always in the back of your mind. I heard our guys earlier say, we got to kind of put it on the back burner for now because we do want to try to accomplish greater things in uncharted territory. But when it's all said and done, no matter what happens over this next week or two, we have that accomplishment. And I know after the 2013 season, it was just something that our people truly enjoyed for months after it happened.
Right. And how is the confidence that they got from winning that game helping you this week and helping you move forward?
Our guys this group of guys is kind of crazy. They've had confidence. I mean, I know that they had confidence prior to that game, and just a looseness that is it's hard to coach. And I used to get uptight about it, over the last couple of years, and finally I just said I need to relax and let them do what they're going to do prior to games and be loose, and because they come out with a purpose, even in the couple games that we lost the last few years. But I would have to think that after Friday night, their confidence would be that they can play in the same stage as a lot of good football teams, because they are a good football team.
Mm-hmm. You probably felt like you had to play a pretty perfect game against Guilfoyle to win, and, pretty much did. You executed the game plan, and how perfect of a game are you going to have to play this week, too?
But, we've had weeks where we haven't had any turnovers. We didn't Friday night. We've had weeks where we've had minimal penalties, and that occurred again Friday night. I think those are two keys in any game you're going to play, whether we're in a regular season game against a Heritage Conference rival or if we're in a playoff game. Anybody at any level will tell you those are the keys to putting yourself in a position to win the game. And that's what we talked about last week. Let's play well. Let's do what we do. Do what you're coached to do. Play aggressively, and then we'll see where we are in the fourth quarter. Well, in the fourth quarter, we had an opportunity to win the game, and we did. So those are keys again this week. I mean, we're playing more of a big play type team, and we can't let that happen. On the flip side, we need to do what we do. We moved the football. We had drives that consumed time, and we were able to get the upper hand that way. So we have to try to do the same things. Everybody at this point in the game is going to try to do what got them there.
Guilfoyle exposed the pass defense a little bit last week. You know that Steel High can throw the ball, like you said, splash plays, things like that. Their quarterback kick and throw.
Right.
How big of a concentration has that been in practice this week?
It has been, but anytime we play more of a pass-heavy team, we'll spend a little bit more of our individual and group time on what we call back seven. We've done that this week. We did it a lot for the Ferndale week, the Ligonier week. If we play a run-heavy team, we'll focus a little more on that. But we haven't been perfect against the pass this year at different times, but our guys have improved. Conrad for Guilfoyle was a really good athlete who happened to also be a good passer, and their guys ran good routes. They had good schemes. These guys are a little bit more. They might take a few things underneath, but they want to hit the home run ball with some of their guys. And we've talked about athletes, and they have really good athletes on their team, but we do too. And our kids have to believe that they can run with these kids or defend these kids, because we're going to do our schemes that we've done and try to get some pressure on the kid and hope that is good enough.
Talk about, so the Heritage Conference thing, I know the Heritage Conference gets ripped on a whole lot. Having two teams in back-to-back seasons from the Heritage Conference in the state semifinals, as a coach, athletic director, and things like that in the conference, how proud does that make you?
It gives us all a lot of pride. I want to congratulate Ligonier Valley. They've been true champions over the last 2 years specifically, but they've had a winning program prior to that too, and they probably were the first ones to really get the respect ramped up for our conference. I mean, it is what it is. It's a small high school conference made up of mostly rural schools, and when people from the outside see that, They just don't know. It's not that they're being ignorant. They're just not around to see that there are some good football teams at play. I mean, every conference has decent teams every year and has teams that don't do so well. We strive every year to really be at the top of our conference and to represent that conference now in these situations where we can put our best foot forward. I can't tell you how many people from different county schools and conference schools our coaches have gotten congratulatory wishes from. I think it's incredible because I remember with Penns Manor and Ligonier doing the same thing for them in recent time, and that's the way we should support each other.
I asked the kids this question too, but if I'd have told you in preseason camp that you guys were going to be in the Final Four in the state semifinals, what would you have thought?
Well, I'm a quiet dreamer. I like to think that that we all as a coaching staff have the ability to be part of something like that. I knew Guilfoyle was there. My first and foremost thought was the beginning of the season, and I worry every week. But you know, I thought ability-wise and experience-wise, and what we have as a coaching staff, that we could, you know, have a chance to get back to the championship game, and we were able to do that and more. So I don't know if I had quite pegged us there yet, but you know, there's times when you're alone and you think about possibilities, and you want to feel like you can get that far. And I mean, here it is. I don't know how I would have responded to that question in August, but I'm proud of everybody with our program. I mean, our kids have gone to the wall for us, so to speak. I mean, they're a little edgy sometimes. They drive me nuts a little bit. But I know when it all gets down to it that they're ready to play. And our coaches, our assistant coaches do a wonderful job with our kids. They're very technical. They have a command with the kids where our kids respect them, and they have a way of getting across things to our kids without belittling them, but also showing them, hey, we're the boss, you're going to do it this way. And we have good give and take. We take their input and try to come up with the best plans possible.
On offense, it seems like with the running game, and this goes for the line and the backs, they still seem like they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. And they've been successful at running the ball all year. So how does that happen? They are still playing like that.
I mean, it's just, you know, every week we kind of go through our routine. Some teams play the run very well against us, and, you know, we have to do some different things. We always want to have different options available. Everybody thinks we're just double tight with a wing and, you know, we're going to pound the ball at you, and we do that some, but we also have other things available and we can throw too. And but our kids love it. I really, truly believe they love that style. I think it's a way that you can help to keep yourselves controlling the game, so to speak. But I don't know. I think it's an attitude they have, and we work on it a lot, and it's been successful. I hope it continues because I know Steel High has an aggressive defense.
Mm-hmm. And this group of seniors, you know, obviously, but keep talking about it, but you have a freshman quarterback. You guys have been confident in him since day one, as far as I know. And how has that confidence in him grown throughout these last couple of weeks?
I think the other night, I think back to that, and I think, you know, he didn't have to make too many throws. His touchdown run to me was just, for a freshman in that stage, was incredible. I knew coming in that he had a lot of ability. He's got a great family. He's got talent and ability. And I had thought, my initial thought was, with the experience we have coming back, if those guys would give him the opportunity to mesh with them, then he would, you know, he would help us become successful, and that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm. What's been the most fun or the most exciting part about all of this in the last few weeks?
Well, the community, for one. I mean, you've been to our games at Memorial Field, and it's a nut house sometimes, but it's a good nut house. It's people that come out one time a week and, you know, they want to blow off steam and root for their kids and root for their community, and I think it's great. The other thing was, I couldn't remember a lot of this from the 2013 end of the game celebration, but I told myself once that, you know, the clock ticked, I said I was going to try to remember as much as I could for all the celebration, putting the medals around the kids' necks. You know, it's something I'll never forget, because then when you see sheer joy and a load taken off of people's shoulders, and that's an incredible thing. And I wanted to make sure I focused on that with with each of our kids.
Mm-hmm. How long were you guys celebrating before it was like, okay, time to get back to work?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, Saturday was a day off, and then it's for a coach, it's hard to sleep on the weekends, even get the week's over, but you start thinking about the next team. And so I took a little peek Saturday night at Steel High and then early Sunday morning, and it didn't take me long because I thought everybody's happy, won another district championship, but now we want to try to get to the next prize, and so that kind of drives you.
Mm-hmm. It does seem there are some similarities between the Steel High team from this year and the Steel High team from 2013, and the same thing with your team from this year in 2013, but their athleticism is, undeniable. So how do you think you guys are going to be able to match up that way?
Well, we have to have confidence in our abilities. I mean, nobody's going to really change things at this point. We have to believe in our defense first and foremost. I think that's what got us through the other night. Offensively, we have different wrinkles, like I said. We just got to try to continue to do what's made us successful, and it's just about getting in the game and being in the moment. I mean, everybody wants to talk about things leading up to it, but you prepare, and then you get to the game, and then you let things unfold, and you just try to play the game and manage the game the best you can as it unfolds.
Mm-hmm. And how much since Friday night have you thought about that fourth down?
Well, I mean, yeah, I've seen many replays of it, and I was kind of down the sideline away from it when it was happening, and when I saw the ball in the air, and Nick has good closing speed. He gets changed of direction very quickly. I saw the ball in the air, and my first thought was, "Are you kidding me? I mean, they're gonna score now." And then there he came and batted it away. When the ball was in the air, batted it away, I thought, just don't let anybody else catch it, And then it hit the ground. Then I'm thinking, okay, let's get the clock killed. And you just don't ever know until everything's all said and done. But just so proud of all of our kids for making plays.
Mm-hmm. And this senior group, how special has it been with you, with them being able to do all of this and experience this?
Yeah, my respect for them has increased each year. They'll probably tell you things like, we use the word anal sometimes about preparation and getting upset and fidgety about things just because, I want to win and they want to win. And I've been impressed each year with their maturity. I think they really needed to take a step up in leadership beginning of the summer, and they did. I was pleased with that. They were 5-5 2 years ago with 5 seniors and 5 juniors on the team, and they were sophomores, and I thought, well, there's some potential there. And then I thought it was a little bit of a surprise last year to get to Mansion Park.
Something I wrote about in my story, the biggest thing I noticed from you guys on Friday was just the will to win. The kids just went out and wanted to win that game, thought they were going to win the game, knew they were going to win the game, wanted to win that game. How have you seen that transition over into this week too?
Well, I think it's been an attitude that they've had all of this year. And I think they had it last year too. But, we ran into a buzzsaw with Guilfoyle last year. But I noticed at halftime, we went in and talked about some things, and then we had about a minute to kind of wrap it up and get back out there. And, well, they were excited. They were loose. And I remember just telling them, I'm sure other coaches talk to individual pockets or groups of kids, but I said, listen, just go out and whatever you did in the first half, do a little bit more in the second. I said, you've never let us down. You guys haven't let us down. We know we're going to get your best effort. And they were excited, kind of hooting and hollering and in a good way, and just ready to go back out. It was 7-7 at that point, and I felt like the belief was there.
Mm-hmm. And then how fun is it and exciting is it for you guys to be playing in December?
I think it's great. It just doesn't feel like it's as much work as it was earlier in the year. Everybody has a little more bounce in their step. We've gone to practice on turf at Indiana High several times, and that's been good. It's kind of like a mini road trip where we all get together. It makes practice a little more special, I think, because it's not just the same old, hey, we're going to walk up to the practice field. We're trying to get on a good surface. And just some of the other activities provided by the football boosters, local businesses and clubs around town, individual people, ladies making us cookies and bringing treats in and stuff like that. It all adds to the atmosphere of what's going on, and you just appreciate every day. I mean, even during the week with practices.
Mm-hmm. And what were you guys thinking whenever you found out that you were going to be playing at Hollidaysburg?
I wasn't sure. I was hoping it would be somewhere around halfway in between. It's a little more slanted towards our side this time, and I was happy about that. I know we'll have a good following. I feel like wherever we would have gone, we'd have a good following. But it's nice to be still in District 6, and aside from that, it's just it's a stadium. We got to go and be ready to play, and the game's played between the lines. So all that other stuff aside, we have to be ready to put our best foot forward.